Hello, everybody. Welcome to the FightFit Podcast. We are joined today by a very special guest. Very lucky to have Trav Varcoe on the show today. Trav is a 200-plus game player and a multi-premiership winning player. So, Trav, welcome, mate. Thank you so much for your time. How you going?
Yeah, good, thanks. And thanks for having me on here.
Yeah.
It's pretty humbling.
Yeah.
So thank you very much.
No worries, mate. Mate, straight to it. You've had a pretty shocking result today. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, it's one that I was hoping would have went the other way, but it's pretty heartbreaking in the end that I thought I was contesting the ball and doing the right thing and playing the game how I was taught. So
yeah,
it was heartbreaking in that way, and I guess I got the double end of it with the Indigenous round coming up this week, and that's one that I sort of pencil in at the start of every year, and hopefully I'm fighting fit and get there in one piece. And last couple of years I haven't had the opportunity to play through injury, but I was cruising along, and then I've been whacked with this.
Well, unfortunately, I mean, for those of you who don't know yet, you've been slapped with a 1-game suspension. We'll go into the finer details of it soon, but it's Indigenous round coming up, and you've got a very special jumper that Collingwood are going to wear on the weekend. Do you want to tell us a little bit about the jumper?
Yeah, absolutely. So, each team gets an opportunity to design a jumper, whether they do that with a competition or a local artist or someone throughout the club. Which my sister-in-law, Leanne, was chosen and done an unbelievable design.
It is a really cool looking jumper.
So everyone says that they got a pretty cool jumper and that this is the best, but I think with all the elements that were pulled together to explain a story, and then obviously with how the club supported me last year with the passing of my sister, it brought all those elements together. So it's actually got a very special meaning to me this year. I'm going to be absolutely shattered.
To miss out on such an occasion.
Absolutely. Have to sit this one, and watch it through a TV screen, which is disappointing.
Yeah, and it's not one that you can get back on such a special occasion. And also the fact that it moved from low impact to medium as well.
Yeah, so I haven't actually seen the vision that they've got.
Yeah.
That's up to whoever it is that determines all that, and I guess they've got a criteria, but at the end of the day, I felt like I was contesting a ball in the spirit of the game, and I think I just got punished for it, which is
I mean, I'm not even being biased, but I think it's very, very stiff call to be suspended for it. Yeah, it's an unbelievably stiff call. We won't get a lynch mob and get all the fight fitters down to the AFL headquarters. Don't worry, mate. We're thinking about it. No. So drafted 2005, pick 15 in the national draft to the Cats. What was it like for you coming across and starting your journey as an AFL footballer?
Yeah, so originally from Adelaide, from the northern suburbs, and I was actually quite lucky to find myself at Geelong, actually, because it's a similar setup to Adelaide. I think in my first, 5 years, I only ever came up to Melbourne to play games, so I absolutely hated it.
Really? Just the big city?
The big smoke, and but Geelong were obviously really, really good to me. In my younger days, you actually go from a boy to a man, and not only in a footy sense, but as a person. So I stayed with a host family down there for my first year. So while you're trying to get used to the training regime, eating properly, getting your sleeps right, they would help you with the cooking, washing, things that you probably take for granted from your parents.
Exactly, mate.
It's
a good lesson.
So it was actually quite nice to have that support. And then after 12 months is up, you usually find your feet, and you either move in with another player. So, you might make a few friends along the way. But I was lucky enough to have a mate there that we had mutual friends in Adelaide, and got introduced to him when I first moved over, and he became like my I guess my family, my big brother, and he said, if you want a place to stay, I'll help you out for a bit. And
must have been good to have that.
Yeah. I ended up staying there for 3 years,
Oh,
and wow. His two boys, they're pretty much my little brothers there. So it was nice to have a home away from home, and
must have really helped you settle, because Geelong's a very different place to Adelaide, I guess.
Absolutely. So it was it did have that Adelaide feel about it, so it didn't really get lost in up in Melbourne as you can. There's, I don't know how many people here, but you can feel very, very lonely.
Couple million.
It was a real tight knit community down there, and obviously footy's the number one sport down there. So I settled into that life pretty quickly, and I enjoyed. I think it was 9 years in the end. Wonderful years, and I look back at now when the Cats play down there, and you see the stadium, and you feel like you have some sort of you left some sort of legacy behind, and with the group that you played with. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you were I think you were the quickest player to ever win 100 games, because you won your first 100 games in your first 100. It took you 112 games to win.
Yeah, I think
100.
That would have been it.
Yeah, so you had an unbelievably successful time at Geelong.
It's deteriorated since.
I wouldn't say that, man. I wouldn't say that. But you won a premiership in 2009 and then 2011. You had a remarkable game in that 2011 grand final as well. Those first 2 goals that you kicked, and that was a ripper of a game.
I think I'll still owe one to Collingwood, I think. So to hopefully bring one back there would be to even the stats out a bit. But I felt like 2011 was we weren't the best team. We just played the right footy at the right time, and it all came together on the big stage, which is it was great for us. But it
was a hell of a team though.
Still. It was. And
towards the back end of that unbelievably successful era with Geelong, but
it was. And I'll probably look back now at the names that I was sort of running around with. Not only are they going to be greats of Geelong, they'll be greats of AFL. So
who was the best in that era?
Oh, you're splitting hairs there, but I really enjoyed my time with Jimmy Bartell. I think whenever there was a big play to be made, he was your man. If you needed a big goal to be kicked, he was your man.
Great player.
He did everything and put his head over the ball. Won his fair share, but he could punish a side off his own boot. So it was actually the best all-round player I've ever played with.
Wow, interesting. You must have felt pretty secure knowing that Matty Scarlett was at the other end as well.
Yeah, he's a competitive beast.
And Corey Enright as well down there. And I
think when you look at the team on paper, obviously knowing how their careers all ended up, I kind of feel a bit silly in that lineup. So
not at all, mate.
But it was actually when you roll through the names that you actually did run out with, and then alongside it was it's quite unbelievable. So
do you ever take a moment to just pinch yourself and just realize that you were a part of that, like that era defining team or that era defining part of AFL history?
I think like now as you get a bit older, coming towards the end of that career, and I'm not in like really entrenched in Geelong as it is. Obviously, at Collingwood you got your own stuff to worry about. So you do your mind does wander back every now and then, and I think you do reminisce about some of the stuff. But I think when you finish your whole career, I think that's the time when you sit down and probably roll out all what you've achieved and the good stuff, the bad stuff, and
I guess the life of an AFL footballer is a fast-paced one. Yeah, and you don't really have time to kind of sit back and reflect, and you're always kind of looking towards your next goal, I guess.
But. Yeah, absolutely, and it's I think you're lucky. I think it's an average of 3.7 years.
Yeah,
as an AFL career. So I've been lucky enough to enjoy. Well, this is my 14th or 15th year. So I've been at the lucky end, but it's such a high turnover that you don't know when your time's up. But you just got to make the most.
And it can switch so easy, just like that. I mean, you see. I was just looking today and I saw that Cam McCarthy was playing twos for Freo and Josh Jenkins is playing twos for Adelaide. And those guys at the start of the year, they were having really good runs, or last year they were great, like kicking goals, and now they're in the twos. And it's just that stuff can just happen so quickly.
It's like I said, the evolution of footy changes quickly, and that's what the coaches are there to do. They keep up with the trends of the game, and they lay out the format and what they think is going to be the best way to win a premiership or whatever it may be. And your job is to work on your craft and make sure you're staying within those guidelines. So, the game does move pretty quickly.
Yeah.
You just got to keep upskilling yourself and improving and finding different ways to keep ahead of the game.
So then 2015 trade period, you're involved in a 3-way trade between yourself, Heredier Lumumba, and Mitch Clark with Melbourne, Collingwood, and Geelong.
Yes.
I think Collingwood definitely got the best of that trade. I don't think Heredier and Mitch Clark really played too many games after that. So that must be a pretty proud moment for Collingwood.
Yeah. When you probably look at it that way. But I think the key to that trade was Jack Crisp coming to Collingwood and Beams going up.
Yeah.
So I think if that didn't happen, then that 3-way trade probably wouldn't have got over the line. So
was it a strange thing to be traded, or was it something that you preempted? Or
look, I think it was a natural parting of the seas for myself and Geelong. Like, I always wanted to be a one club player. Just never panned out that way, and we left on great terms. And I'll forever be welcome down there. And once my time's up, I think the team that gives you the opportunity to play and fulfill your childhood dream, I think that's where your loyalties lie.
Yep.
But don't get me wrong either. Like, Collingwood have given me an amazing opportunity to extend the career, and
I'd say a real second wind as well.
Yeah,
I'd say at some points you could argue that you've played your career best footy at Collingwood as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So I wouldn't give up anything down in Geelong, and and definitely wouldn't give up anything as so far at Collingwood. And I never ever thought I'd make a grand final again, and we're pretty close to it. Obviously didn't go our way, but
it was a remarkable season last season.
Oh, it was unbelievable just to be part of that a finals experience, because I think since I've been at Collingwood, I haven't played finals.
Had a few pretty rough years.
Yeah. That's what happens. That's the evolution of footy. Like I said, it's teams have got to rebuild at some stage, and unless you're a Sydney or a Geelong that stays at the top for forever and a day. So
I think the thing about Geelong that I find really interesting, and now correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that they've got a really even pay structure in the way that they pay their players, and that there's not that much of a discrepancy between the top paid player and sort of middle of the range players, and they just keep it at that sort of level.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but if they want me back down there, I'll come back and play.
Yeah, I just heard that. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe it's just from word at the footy. But so I'm not sure. But Geelong is definitely a really well-run club, and Sydney struggling this year a little bit. But
and that's you can't stay at the top forever.
Yeah.
I grew up barracking for Sydney, so I do keep a close eye on them, and you still get that. We all have that inner child in ourselves, and I would have loved to have played this week. Get to play against the team that I barracked for as a kid. Wearing a jumper that means so much to me. And playing on the SCG, it would have been phenomenal. So and that's the reason you started playing footy. So
for huge moments, huge occasions
absolutely.
Like that.
So and that's probably going on.
No, not at all, mate. I can imagine how hard that would be. And I mean, if you're going to take any positives out of that whatsoever, that situation is that you and your family have had such an impact on this game, and it's still going to have that really tangible sort of feeling and meaning to the game. It's not going to have the same because you're not going to be out there. You're not going to be throwing your weight around like you normally do, but the meaning will still be there. I guarantee it. It'll be a good game. So one of the real hurdles that you've sort of faced in your career was, we'll start off with the racial sort of abuse that you've copped. Do you mind going into that story a little bit about what happened there?
So probably not the story, but I guess the thing that is the biggest thing I got out of it is that you can't just slap people with bans and all this sort of stuff without actually explaining why it is so hurtful to whoever you're making these comments to. So yes, they deserve to cop everything that they get, but you can't just give it to them and not explain why. So I think education is always the key to actually make them realize why it is so hurtful. So I think that's the sort of path I was trying to aim and go down is that, at the end of the day, we are humans. We do have kids, we do everyday stuff. Like it's just because we're, athletes, we're not immune to hurt. We're like, I think you grow a thick skin to just the world that we walk in. But seeing your friends and family, the ones that care about you the most, and how cut they actually do get. Some aren't as strong as others, and it can take a toll on them. So I think when you see that side of it, it actually breaks you down inside. It's not necessarily, I can't educate everyone, and sometimes people are just ignorant to certain things. So yeah, like I said, like if you can actually explain why, then I think
so you think
we're taking a step forward.
Perhaps like people are falling, not victim, but people are being kind of sheep in the sense that there's a big sort of mob mentality. We saw at the Sydney game when Adam Goods called out that young girl. Perhaps she sort of had that mob mentality behind her, and everyone was yelling out, and she yelled out something that was highly inappropriate. And then in one of the instances with you, somebody got behind their social media and sort of made these pretty disgusting comments. And was found by your partner Kim as well. And so what you're saying is that perhaps like education to these people could be a way forward rather than just sort of banning them and vilifying them.
Like I think some sort of punishment is due. Like, and that's that goes with anything, with every action there's going to be a consequence. So I think with this it's a bit of a hard one because with social media there's no accountability. So
you can be whatever you want, say whatever you want.
You can say whatever you want without a care in the world. Whereas you probably say with the Goodsy incident, he's yelling out. Now she gets plastered, and I think I learned an amazing amount.
You'd hope so.
And Adam did. Adam, was at that point we need to explain why. And,
I think that was the message, a similar message to what you're saying as well.
Absolutely. So I think and that sort of worked itself out a little bit. And then I think once everything sort of dies down, it sort of gets forgotten about. And, but I think like I said, I just want to keep pushing that. You got to explain why the consequences are what they are.
Because perhaps there is a genuine lack of education into that. And people often do see AFL footballers on the TV and they're these amazing athletes and they see them as sort of like a piece of meat that they can just say whatever they want to. And that's not the case, as you said, that you guys have families as well. You guys have feelings, you don't like being called certain names. And it's a really good point to have a further education. Do you think that's maybe something that you could sort of delve further into as education?
Look, I didn't actually go out and seek it. I simply just answered a question about Eddie Betts, and it just made the headlines. And I probably said about 3 things. And, those 3 things happened to be the headlines the next day. So it was sort of not like forced upon you, but it was just like, okay, well, if I look at this as a in 50 years time, if this was maybe like a little etch in it, and it was a positive way forward, that's something I'll look back at and be pretty proud of.
Definitely. So on top of that, you're definitely on the field. You're somebody who definitely embodies the fighting spirit, the way that you go about it every week. But also when life has thrown you sort of hurdles and a real sucker punch last year in that you lost your sister. When that happened, how on earth did you manage to keep on playing football at that time?
So I'll probably start off with I think the people that are close to you. Like I remember going through the week, and then we weren't sure which way it was going to go. Just coming, going back to the hotel, and speaking with my partner Kim, and not necessarily forcing you to talk, but just asking a few questions to see how you're going. Some of those conversations went for about 5 minutes, and it was shut down pretty quick. And then there was other nights where we'd talk for an hour, 2 hours, like. And it was just more about, without even knowing it at the time, it was actually more probably pointing out all the feelings and putting it, on the table, with someone that you really trust and loved, that, that's going to be, safe, and, you're not going to come back to bite you or anything like that. And I think she just got me used to to dealing with it earlier. I don't think you ever get over hurt like that, but I think you just get better with dealing with it. And without even knowing it, I was it was almost instantaneously. So
Kim played a massive part.
Yeah,
obviously.
Absolutely. And then, like, I guess with there's so many other things to worry about, like just being able to book flights and where we're going to stay. Like, Kim just did everything, didn't ask a question. This is what we're going to do. Here we go. This is what we like. Whatever I wanted to do, that was what we're going to do. And then obviously I did come in to train here actually. I just wanted to, at least keep some sort of fitness up and probably looking back at it now, like I could have had the week off and I wasn't going to lose any fitness whatsoever. But I think exercise is great for your peace of mind, mental state. So
keep your mind and body active.
So I ended up coming in here, and the people were so respectful here, and they gave me the space when I needed it. But at the same time too, I needed interaction with people that I felt comfortable around. So it was again another home away from home. So this place has always been good for me. So my partner worked here for I don't know 3.5 years. So
and just for the audience members, that's how we know you. That's why you're a good friend of the gym, is because your partner Kim has trained here for a while, and you come in and out as well.
So it's and then obviously I picked up a few boxing lessons here and there, and something that I really enjoyed. But like I said, it's another little home away from home, and a little family that I'll definitely cherish forever.
Yeah, and maybe even we'll sign you up when you finish your footy career.
We'll see how we go.
Yeah, maybe sign you up for a FightFit challenge.
Yeah, a few years off.
Yeah. And how is your family all dealing with it now? How's everyone coping? You guys obviously came together in a big way after that tragedy.
Yeah, I think that's when it hits the hardest, I reckon. Like when it's sort of fresh in everyone's mind. You have all this love and support around, but the world doesn't stop, and that's as much as you want it to pause and have that little breather, it just doesn't happen. So I think when the dust sort of settled, and you do realize that she's not going to walk through the door again, and she's not going to be able to hug you or kiss you, that's when it really sets in. So the good thing is that all my family's back at home, and a big family, so there's always someone that's doing okay, or a lot that are doing okay at one time, and there might be a couple that are down, so they can always sort of help each other through. And
you try and really keep your ear to the ground, see
and just see how they just not too much, tracking them, and I'm not going to sit on top here and ask you every single day, and how you doing, because that probably drive anyone insane. Really.
I guess when in that situation, you kind of want to empower people and let them know that you're there for them, but not get in their face too much.
And I think too, and it's a bit of a two-way street too. Like you got to you got to ask for the help when you need it, and I think they've found that balance. And my old man rings me, probably every fourth or fifth time he's he's been in tears, and and at that point, you sort of you got to be that rock for him, and he's done everything, right up to date for me. So it's nice to be able to lend an ear and a shoulder for him, even though that I can't physically be there. He's he's entrusted me enough to spill out his feelings.
Yeah, and that's a really amazing and powerful thing when you can be that confidant for someone when they feel comfortable enough to sort of open up to you. And is that something that you find that is getting easier for you to be able to open up and to be able to seek help and talk to your partner or talk to your friends or family?
It's definitely not my strong suit. But I think Kim's sort of got that quality. He's working towards getting the best out of me in that. So definitely not I wasn't the greatest, but I guess you never know until you're challenged in a certain way. And I think last year was if that's as hard as it gets, I think I'm going to be fine with a lot of other things.
Yeah. And so you obviously you never get over these things, but you feel like you're really maintaining and getting through it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's Maggie's a little bit like me, like in the sense that don't sit around sooking all day. Like just it is what it is, and
it's never going to be perfect. But
and like no matter how angry or sad or how much you hate the world, it's I can't bring it back, and that's how I sort of feel about, like, if anything was to unfortunately happen to me, like that's how I'd want people that know me and close to me, that's how I'd want them to think.
And you think that if the roles were reversed, that Maggie would be that rock as well?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, she's there. She was there for everyone. So probably more so than she needed to be. But I think she was the one in the family that never took any sides and just was just like, oh yeah, just gave enough to you, but always sat on the fence. It's unbelievable. It's actually an unbelievable skill to have to be able to give something to make them feel comfortable, but not to actually side with anyone. So she was really good at that.
Yeah, I wish that more people were like that, actually, because there'd be a lot more understanding in the world.
Absolutely.
What's some other qualities that you'd really like Maggie to be remembered by when people think of her, in particular this Saturday when people are remembering her? What are some of the qualities that you like?
I think like the one that stands out the most is like she didn't have much, but what she did have, she loved so much. Like it was like pure happiness. Like if you ever wanted happiness in your life, and I think every parent or everyone wants someone to have happiness in their life. But I think she lived like the happiest life that anyone could actually ever live, and to share it with her partner, like they never spent a day apart from each other, like the whole time that I think it was like nine and a bit years. Like that's phenomenal. Like never a day apart. Like and like they loved doing what that, and it would be just as simple as like picking a street in Adelaide to go eat dinner. And they wouldn't know what restaurants are on that strip. They said, "Oh, we're gonna have to eat on that street." Like, but like that was their
just
little
be spontaneous
thing, like,
and enjoy
it. It was actually that was their life. They just happy-go-lucky and just loved each other's company. Like, and it was she could have the worst day, but she would still have a smile on her face. Like I'm sure she would, and probably Josh cop the brunt of it, because the partners always do.
Yeah.
But she was absolutely unbelievably happy.
And how's the support network around her family in Adelaide?
Yeah. So it's like I said, it's been tough at times. But I think there's a big enough group there to like I said, there's always, you can't have amazing days every day. It's going to hit you at some stage, and as long as you have the right people around to lean on, you'll be fine. And like I said, it's two-way street as well. You've got to be able to ask for the help when you need it.
Yeah.
So they're doing really well.
Yeah. I'm sorry to harp on and keep asking all of these questions, but I'm genuinely fascinated by the strength that you've shown, and how you've really shown that fighting spirit and been able to come through this and really have that presence of mind to be able to look out for your family as well. And it's really admirable, mate. Is there anything that you would say to somebody else who might be going through something, or somebody else who might be struggling, or something very similar to yourself? What kind of advice would you give them?
I think, like I said, just being able to find that one person, or two or three, whatever it may be, that you really do trust, and to actually open up, and you'll find, like, no one's ever going to shoot you down. Like you just got to ask for that help, and I think the other part too is obviously knowing your capabilities, and if you do have a high pressure job, or it doesn't even have to be a high pressure job, just even going to work, like if you generally know that you're capable of fulfilling your duties, and just still live life as you would. Like I said, the worst parts are probably at night time, and that's where that solid rock comes in.
Yep.
That you have that special person or people that you can actually lean on. So
I completely understand that. I mean, when I was 19, I lost my dad, and like it was so difficult, because sometimes you just you feel like it's never going to get better. But to hear that from you is just really touching.
And I think as long as you keep that communication open, and I'm I try and look at things in a different light as well, as that. I'm doing it tough, but I can guarantee there's a lot of other people up there that are doing it harder or just as tough. So
and you were very lucky to have Kim by your side as well.
And
I'm lucky that I've got my mum. You're lucky you've got Kim, and for anybody else out there, just to have somebody close to you who's
and that's
able to listen, able to bring up the things for you. And you've rattled me here, Trav, mate. You've absolutely rattled me, mate. Awesome. So, mate, let's get back to footy. Tell us about Collingwood's premiership run this year. You guys going to do it?
Yeah, hopefully. We got the I think we got the right mix there, and like I said, footy's it changes every 6 weeks, so you just got to let the coaches bring forth what they think is the right type of footy for that week, or for our next up to the bye. They'll have one eye on what we've got to do this week, but they'll also see what the trends of the game are, on what different teams are have got slight variations, and being able to combat that. So I think we're sitting okay at the moment. Well, it means we're not like every other team will probably be saying it as well. They haven't really played their best footy, but we're managing to knock up some wins early
professional
on.
Season so far.
You just got to keep working towards when it gets to that pointy end, really tightening up how we want our footy to be played, and then executing it. So
why do you guys keep on losing to West Coast, do you think? Why are they such a bogey team for you guys when other teams manage to get it over them? But every time you guys play West Coast, it seems like they really get it over you.
I think some teams just match up well against a certain opposition, and at the moment they've got the stick over us, and they're one that you probably, like I said, you'll probably mark them off at the start of the season and go, that's one that you probably want to knock off. You never ever want to lose to a team that beat you on a granny. That's just, you never ever want to lose to them again. But they just, I think they just, they really know what they're doing and what their roles are.
And maybe they've got that mental edge over you guys as well a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a mental edge. I just think they just match up well, and they're always good games. It's not like
cracking games,
blown out of the water, and we embarrassed ourselves. I think as a even like the granny, absolutely shattered that we lost. But you look at that as a footy spectacle. mate, you can't ask for any more.
Mm.
And it, I guess being on the big stage, like it's actually, as a footy lover, you'd go, I don't care who you barrack for, like that was awesome to watch.
I was at the game and I was absolutely losing it that last quarter.
Yeah,
it was unbelievable game. Yeah,
but yeah, no, and I'm massive on, like, when you see, like, Grand Slam championships, all that sort of stuff. You want to see it go down to the wire. Like,
yeah,
it wasn't
one of the best grand finals.
It wasn't
in years.
Like, it was a special play that had to be pulled out to win it, and unfortunately for us, I was on the wrong end of it. But when you, like, actually look it back and think, like, there's so many things that have to go right for them to actually even get it in their forward 50, let alone kick a goal. And then I love Dom Sheed's journey of getting there as well, like not even considered in the best 22.
Yeah, he was playing twos for much of the year.
Kicking a clutch goal.
Yeah, just gun barrel straight through.
In front of God knows what was getting said over the thing. But, you think, like, all these sorts of things, and it comes down to that one moment, and he's just executed, what he had to, and you just going, well, it was very heartbreaking. I was just watching it go through. I was like, mate, this couldn't be any worse.
Yeah, you could not write that script. It's just,
But, and then, so I like, as a pure footy lover, like, obviously, like I said, no one ever wants to lose. But as a spectacle, it was unreal.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. They reckon there's a big 5 this year. Yourself, Geelong, West Coast, Richmond, GWS. Personally, I wouldn't put Richmond in there, but I'm thinking at the end of the year, grand final day comes along, you versus Geelong, your old team, in a grand final. How does that sound to you?
Oh, yeah.
Who will you play for?
It's a winner out of this first. Nah, look.
Knock West Coast off in the semi-final and then you play Geelong.
Mate, I'd be, like I said before, I don't think I'd ever get to a grand final again. And I thought that was my last chance at it. And no, you don't ever want to, start throwing that stuff around now, because there's a lot of water going under the bridge. So, I think you're saying Richmond aren't there. Like, you can't take that amount of players out of a team and think that they're going to still be up there. Like, if they're thereabouts and they start getting all their game up and running, I think if
Rancy makes some sort of freak recovery, then potentially.
Yeah. So I think that they'll set themselves as every team does. But as for the big 5, like, I don't know whatever.
Yeah,
that's for the media to sort of run through and pick out that sort of stuff. But if it was Geelong and Collingwood, that would be pretty crazy. And then
FightFit, as you heard it here first. If you want to put money on something this season, Trav Varcoe for the Norm Smith against Geelong in the grand final. Hit a victory.
That'll be a pro.
We're going to be a bunch of rich fight fitters. Mate, an unbelievable career so far. Would you say that there's a highlight for you, or a moment that really sticks out that was?
Yeah, I think
it's a really hard question. I know.
No one ever forgets their first game. Like, I think being able to just even, like, to get on a list is, like, that's pretty good, but that's only the start of it. All the hard work is in front of you, and to get your first game. I remember, we played Carlton at Etihad, or Marvel, or whatever you want to call it now, April 7th, 2007. So that's how you always remember that sort of stuff. And so I remember that's probably one of.
Was it round 1?
No, round 2.
Yeah.
Me and big Tom Hawkins.
Same day.
Got to debut the same day, which was really nice. And we ended up winning that one pretty comfortably that day. And
he wasn't as big back then, Tom Hawkins.
Yeah. He was, had a lot of puppy fat.
Did he? Few skin folds.
Yeah. But so that was really one of my most cherished moments. Probably 2011 Granny is right up there, or end 2009. They were probably 2 different end of the spectrum, as in 2009 was really grinded out to the end. Like we didn't know who was going to sort of win. And then 2011 was I got to
37 points or
enjoy.
something.
Got to enjoy the last probably 10 minutes of it. You know, you're sort of running around looking at other players, going, you know, yeah, we got another one. Like
That must be an unreal
pretty
feeling.
special. And then I think, and this is probably playing West Coast in the prelim last year. You know, after passing Maggie, that was on a total different emotional level. You know, to like I even look back now, and you know, you did that under extreme circumstances, and not that I was thinking that at the time, but you know, I
you must have been on autopilot.
there's so many images of that game that they just mean a lot more than just a game. Like, so
I remember you had Maggie written on your arm.
That was
there.
grand final day. Yeah, so that was you know, obviously, you know, you always carry him around with you no matter where you go. It's but yeah, that was probably I don't know, maybe more of a visual sort of a thing.
How did that conversation go down with the coaches? Did they even ask you if you wanted to play? Because surely no one would suspect you to bounce back and play that quickly.
Yeah. Well, I knew what my capabilities were, and like I knew that I had the strength to carry out what I needed to for the team, and like it is a team game. Like I would never ever put Bucks or my teammates in the position to answer for me. Like, you know, why to put him out there? Like, you know, was he all right? Was, you know, all that sort of stuff. Like
your decision.
I actually had confidence in my ability, and I knew I could carry out the job. People were a little bit wide different, but I think going back to work and doing something that we both loved really helped me on my way. So
and did you feel like you were channeling Maggie's strength at all, or what Maggie loved? Because she's such a footy fan as well.
And again, we're similar in this respect, is that, you know, as much as you want to do it for everyone around you, like at the end of the day, they're all going to sit down and say, we love you, you know, we're proud of you. You got to do it just as much for yourself as what you do is for everyone else. And I think sometimes too, that's where you can get lost a little bit, is that you're trying to make and push so many things and make it count that you just try that little bit too hard. But when you actually break it down, you know, you're doing something that you love as well. So I think you know, she would have been smiling for sure.
Yeah.
And you know, I hope she still does. And
I think she'll be smiling definitely when you win that Norm Smith this year, mate. Everyone will be smiling. That'll be unreal, mate. Travi, unless there's anything else you really wanted to go over tonight, we're going to leave our adoring fans here. I think it's been awesome. You've absolutely rattled me, mate.
Jeez, that's I'll cross that off the bucket list.
First time I've been rattled. Unbelievably inspirational story. Thank you so much for your time, mate. It's been absolutely awesome. I think we've got one question. Would you ever step into the ring? Bash has asked you.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. I don't know. I'll have to do a bit more training. I'll do some training with Tosca, actually. So, you know, he's been able to.
I've seen you on the pads, mate. I reckon you could.
I do enjoy it. I enjoy the we do a team sport. And when I feel flat, I've got 44 other blokes I can lean on, and I can probably hide a little bit. And I actually to see you know, boxers go through what they do, like you got, you know, obviously your trainers and stuff to motivate you, but at the end of the day, you're out there by yourself. Like you got to get yourself in the right frame of mind, and like you don't have anyone to lean on, but you have a lot of confidence, and I really enjoy that aspect of it.
I guess you've seen that with your partner Kim as well in the fights that she's undertaken and the
but-
process that's been
to get there. Yeah, so it's actually something I'd love to just at least do the training and see how you go. But Kim can talk to me all she wants about it, and all I've got is I can only imagine it. Like there's nothing like being able to go through it, regardless if you win or lose. Like that's the commitment that you make to actually go through with the training and the stress and it is a bit of stress. It is stressful, like putting your body through an intense block of training. Like, that's something I can only ever imagine. Like I actually want to.
I reckon you could handle it, mate. If I can handle it, you can handle it. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, Geordie reckons he'll handle it, but I don't know.
Geordie, yeah, we're talking about Geordie to go for whoever's still listening. He reckons he can box, but I can assure you he can't.
He said he died. He said he died in Paul's class.
Yeah, he did one fight. He did one FightFit challenge, and he almost did a hammy. Yeah. He thought he'd try and be cool and not stretch before, but. We've got some more questions coming in. We've got Ed Dewberry. That's my coach from London. Coached me for 3 years. So shout outs to the great man. He said, would you let Jake coach you?
Yeah.
Would you let me coach you?
Footy what?
No, for boxing.
Oh, for boxing.
I wouldn't recommend it.
Oh, geez, the way produce fight night. Yeah, absolutely.
You see, I could teach you a thing or two, mate. No. Another question. Bash says not if he wants to win. Yeah, cheers, mate. Thank you. Brennan Maguire says can't go wrong with Tosca. He's a champion of champions.
Yeah. It's he actually scares me into doing the right technique. So he's actually breaks down things unbelievable. You can't be at the top of your game and on the world stage for that long and not pick up anything. Like to actually be able to coach and communicate that sort of experience is like I don't think you can't buy that.
I haven't had too much to do with Tosca, but I can assure you, well, you know this, but he's a one of a kind dude. I spoke to Paul Fifield on one of the previous podcasts, and Paul just absolutely had nothing but good things to say about Tosca and the way he trains and his mindset. And he's just a really cool guy. And he must be cool to learn from.
Yeah. And the other thing too is that he translated a lot of stuff over into footy. Like it's like, you have your footworks and all you got to get them in the right slide and in the right placements and to actually translate it into footy terms as well. Like obviously the principles are the same. Like I'm just lucky that no one throws punches on the footy field. So, but if they happen to do, I think you're going to be okay. So, but it's actually the thing that blew me away the most is that how much he actually loves and he dedicates the time to me. Like I remember going trying it, I'll give it a shot and see how we go. Kim picked up training with him and I enjoyed it. And then next thing, so I trained with him once, and then the next training session I went out to with Collingwood. Sure enough, he's down there and watched a few of my training sessions, and he came back the next time we went to go train. He's like, this is how you're gonna beat this person. This is how you're gonna beat that person. Like, this is with tackling. This is how you're gonna, same things as I'll train you up to do, the fighting stuff, but actually the footwork is exactly the same principles as what you're going to take out in the field. And the way that he breaks it down, is phenomenal. And I go out there now and I can see what he's taught me. Unfold in front of me. And that's
interesting that it's translated to your football.
Yeah. So obviously, you quick feet and to get it in and out of
it's essential for boxing.
But to actually and the good thing about footy is I've got 150 meters to work with. You don't have much to work with in the ring. So no, it is. It's like I said, it's you can't be at the top of your game and not know anything about it. So
absolutely.
I'm pretty lucky in that sort of sense. So if there's anyone that I could learn off in Australia. I think I've got one of the best.
Mate, he's a 9-time world champion. So, so we've got D-Wish. D-Wish says, "What's it like to play with Scott Pendlebury?" I'm sure it's terrible.
Yeah, look, I think you always admire like great players from afar, but when you actually get in the same, like the inner walls, and see how much he actually pours into his game, it still got me like blown away how slow he actually is. He always has time and space. It's phenomenal. But, I think that's just the way he plays the game, and how like the cues that he sends out to, to turn 1 meter into 5 meters. Is,
do you think everyone says it's to do with his basketball background? Do you
absolutely.
think that's definitely a thing?
And it is. And he knows how to read other people's body language. And I guess when you're playing basketball and you're playing in a close proximity of each other, same sort of those things. And like get out in the footy field and you got hundreds of meters to work with. I think he's worked it out. And for a very long time, but definitely one of the ultimate professionals you ever come across.
Good bloke as well. Pendles for sure. I've been around the club a few times and he's always pretty welcoming. He's always got some funny banter as well, which is good.
I'm pretty sure he owns the place now.
So. Who are the scallywags of the club?
Oh, geez. Well, Geordie's
yeah.
I think he sits in a league of his own. And then it drops, probably 3 or 4 levels before it gets to someone else.
Before it gets to Ben Crocker.
Croc. I really enjoy Croc. Croc's
he's a funny bloke, isn't he?
Very, very funny. So
he'll be happy to be getting a shout out, I think.
And Braden Maynard, they're actually ones that when you walk into in the morning and sometimes you get through pre-season, you go, "Oh, geez, what am I doing with my life?" And then you hear their voice and you're like, "Yeah, this is what I like. What am I in for today?" Like that's the sort of it's just funny. You never know what you're going to get, but
it must be a hilarious environment.
So they're probably 3 that's like I said, sitting in a league of their own, and
they love to have a bit of fun.
Then everyone's pretty boring after that.
So what about the young blokes? Who do you reckon are the real up and comers? If you had to pick out a few who have really caught your eye.
Oh, geez, that's pretty unfair. Like,
come on, mate. There's got to be someone
playing favourites here. Look, I really like and enjoy watching Tyler Brown.
I've heard that a few times,
mate. Like the actual footy now is is unbelievable. And he's once he gets to understands how strong his body actually is, and how he can move it, because he's quite tall. He's going to be an unbelievable player, and hopefully, he can keep pushing his way up and get his opportunities.
Do you think it's because he's got that not quite physically matured yet?
I think he's I'm probably crossing over into coaches sort of thing. I think he's he'd be ready to go. And then some players learn a hell of a lot more being around in a higher level, and I think he would absolutely thrive in being around those sorts of games and competitions. So but at the moment he's doing all he can, and he's doing a lot of things right. But I guess the problem we have at the moment is that it's very, very, very tight for spots. So the competition's pretty high.
Ben Crocker's been very stiff to not get a gig this year.
Yeah, I know.
He's been pushing his case, getting 35s and 40s in the VFL.
Trying to push for being a coach, so I'd have him start in 18 for sure.
Is that something you want to do after?
No, definitely not. That's why I'm
not a good coach, mate. You'd be a good coach.
Croc's put in the power of work as well, and
good elite runner as well.
Like you want to see good things happen to good people, and hopefully it all pans out well, and these young guys can come up and get their opportunity. Hopefully they don't push me out of the side, but if it is, man, I'll be pretty stoked. See the growth of these younger kids that come through. So,
do you ever give any advice to the younger guys, or is there anything that you particularly think that is important for a young man trying to embark on an AFL career or any career for that?
No, I think like you said, like you naturally go out on the track, and the best coaching and feedback you can give is in real time. So obviously with training you can stop the play, or actually sit down and speak to them about a certain play.
Yeah.
And then we have we record training so much as well. You can go back after training and run through the vision, but I think the best learning comes from mistakes. So it's easy to sit behind a computer and say, oh, you need to do this, this, and this. But when you're actually out there physically doing it, and you go, oh, geez, that feels, I did the wrong thing there. You can actually feel that, and you go, that feeling, don't feel it again, because that was the wrong decision. Like just
when you get a spray for someone,
when that opportunity arises again, try something different, or this is maybe do I've been in that situation. Maybe think about this. So it's actually doing. I don't think like real time feedback is key.
Well, I play down at Bentley Demons, mate, and I play in the twos down there, and I get sprayed all the time. But the thing is, I just never learn.
Yeah, I think that's when people get angry. They don't care that you make mistakes, but if you make the same ones,
they tell me you give the handball. I'm like, but I wanted to kick it. I don't want him to kick it. It was mine.
Oh, well, there you go. You learned something off Geordie.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly right. That's hilarious. I see him giving sprays and trying to point on the field.
Absolutely. I'd rather him kick it as well. So.
Yeah, no, he rates his own kicking, so someone's got to. Do you think that your biggest strength throughout your career has been your mentality and your tenacity? Yeah, that's probably the thing I'd say that you're probably most well known for.
Yeah.
Absolutely fierce at the contest.
You probably don't want to, and this is like with anything you do. It doesn't have to be sport. If you actually lay it, you go, you want an honest man's pillow when you go to bed. Like when you lay down, you go, yeah, I think I've given everything I possibly could have. And you don't want that. Oh, should have done this, should have done that. Like, I think I've just given it a crack, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, like I've had the endeavor to do my best, and
you've definitely tried your best.
So I think as long as everyone knows their own capabilities. My capabilities are going to be totally different to Scott Pendlebury. So I'm probably about a fifth of what he is, but it is. I know my limitations, and
and your strengths, and you'd have your strengths. He says, his strengths,
and you just got to keep bringing it together, and that's why it's a team sport. Everyone's got all these different strengths, and when you put them all together and do your job on the day, it's quite powerful. So,
because if you don't do that, if you don't play your role in the side, you'll often come undone. Look at me speaking like I know anything about.
It doesn't matter what level you play at. Like, obviously, we get scrutinized a bit more because it's you make one stuff up, everyone sees it. Like you probably make down at the local, the local club. Like it's just like you're still going to get the same feedback, and like probably not on a grand scale, but that they are like it doesn't matter what level you play. It's the same sort of principle, I guess. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, maybe you can come and have a game at the Bentley Demons once it's all over, mate.
Yeah, maybe this week. Yeah. I've got some spare time on my hands.
I can assure you won't be getting a handball from me, though, unfortunately. All right, mate. Well, once again, thank you so much. I think the questions were awesome, but they've dried up a little bit now. Mate, thanks for coming on, sparing your time. We'll have to get a lynch mob together after all, mate, and go down to the AFL headquarters and tell him. Let him play.
Nothing to do with
free Trav.
No,
of course. But mate, thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Cheers.
You rattled me. Thank you.
Thanks.